Hi, my name is Wendy, and I would like to show you how to make out of a blank white 12 by 12 piece of paper your own background page layout. What I'd like to do first is to start by showing you the glimmermist colors. We're going to be working with our sea glass, patina, and one of the very favorite colors, all-time popular colors, is coffee shop. So what I'd like to do first is just kind of start by adding some sea glass to the background, just in a random kind of right through the middle. This is just a deeper tone color, and then just kind of little bit hints here and there. I'd like to add my brown in. And if you can see, all of that is kind of pooling and puddling on there. What I like to do in order to get a softer look is just to take my paper towel and wipe up all that extra in the background. And that leaves you with a really nice, soft, patterned background. Like this. It's almost dry just from patting it off. What I would like to do is just give it a little bit of heat to dry it. You can let it set out and dry. You don't need to use a heat tool. We're just speeding up the drying process for the next step, which is to use the glimmer screens. If you forget to dry in between, what happens is the water seeps underneath or around the screen and reacts like watercolors. So this is the glimmer screen that we're going to use. This is the large flourish that you can find in our starter kit of glimmer screens. Those glimmer screens, there's 9 in them, and that is the storage unit for these screens. So what I'm going to do is just kind of randomly set down my glimmer screen, and I'm going to hold it down with the tweezers. I'm going to shake my glimmer mist. I like to point it down towards the table in case there's a little bit of extra left in the nozzle from the last time I used it. And now I'm just going to kind of spray that screen into the background. Kind of quickly pick that up and use another paper towel. And what that does by putting the paper towel over the top of it is just create a little bit lighter tone or pattern in the background. Pick up the rest of those dots. Then I'm going to turn it around. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create from this tag a matching tag to go with our page layout. Let's start with some brown and add some patina in there. I'm going to let it sit and heat it just a little bit to let it soak in. Then all that pooling I'm going to pick right back up again with the paper towel. But this just allows it to kind of get started to seep into that paper. Now if we pick it up, it'll leave behind that pattern that we've created on there. Now we have a pattern going. Now, one thing that I like to remind people about is that if you don't like this pattern that's on here, there's no such thing as too much glimmer mist. Just go right back in again and try it again. This time try a little bit different pattern. Let it soak a little bit. How about let's try the brayer? This should give us a little bit lighter technique, and it will give you a more blended effect in your background. Let's pick up the excess with the paper towel. And now we have a more blended background tag. Now, as you can see, because we're using the exact same colors, you're going to get a little bit of a color shift because the tag started as a yellow background piece of paper, but everything matches. And that's what we're going for, is you can use anything you have at home to make it match. The next thing I'd like to do is I've taken this pattern paper here and I've just cut off a corner so that it will go on the bottom of our tag right here. But I'd like to make it kind of pop a little bit more. So we're going to use, let's do the sea glass. And all I'm going to do is just add the color. And remember that the glimmer mist, any paper you add water to is going to give you a curling action. The key is just not to over dry it. When you over dry the fibers in the paper, that's what tends to make it really curl. So then what we're going to do is attach that right on there. And now again, we've created a matching piece. The next thing I'd like to do is to show you, now that we've done our pattern paper and our background, show you how to use our glimmer chips. This is from the Regal Nature line. Pick up our mess that we have here. And let's make that one. I like to always add a couple different colors. I'm going to go right down the center and just add a little tiny bit of brown on there. Now, if you let this sit and dry on its own, it's going to dry exactly where you sprayed. If you take the heat tool, you push and blend the colors together. You can also, as an advantage, kind of tell it where you want the color to, or the more heavy shimmer to land by pushing the color with the heat tool where you need it. Okay, so now this one we've got a little bit more brown, so I'm just going to bring in a little bit more brown there. Then go right back over it with some more blue. Just keep adding until you get the look you like. That's the key with the glimmer mist. It reacts like watercolors. You're just creating layers. Now what's going to happen up here, we're going to create this pooling look. If you don't like the pooling look, just your paper towel becomes your best friend. Just pick it right back up again. And now we've evened the tones out in that butterfly. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this ink pad. We like the Quick Quotes ink pads because they're a little bit firmer surface, so you're not going to destroy the detailing in the butterfly. You can see that it brings out all the little details and embossed pieces in that. Okay, then we can take some rhinestones. This is kind of my little favorite thing to do, is to take a strip of the rhinestones and put them right down the middle of the butterfly. Adds a little bit of interest there. So let's go back to our page layout here. We have our tag and our paper. And we're going to add a glue dot there. Well, the glue dots don't like to stick to wet paper, by the way. Let's try drying that a little bit first. And there we go. Okay, so we have our paper on there. We're going to take our butterfly. The wonderful part of our chips is that they're all self-adhesive. So I just like to kind of scratch off the corner and pull up all the back off of that and add our butterfly right to that. Oops. Popped off the rhinestones. Those right back on. Okay, here's the next step and final step to our project that I would like to show you is the Glimmer Mist works fantastic on paper or artificial flowers, and these kind of dull looking pieces are wonderful when you add the Glimmer Mist to them. It just really brings out all the little details. Let's add a little bit of brown. All I'm going to do is take a brad and go right down the middle. And right into our tag. And there's our tag that matches our page layout. And there you have it. Thank you. Have a great day.